this is AnimeIndecision. I'm Orestria, and I'm watching Symphogear AXZ. Today, let's take a look at episode 1. So, the original Symphogear started with a concert that turned into a noise attack. Symphogear G started with a concert that turned into a noise attack. And Symphogear GX started with Hibiki suplexing a spaceship. How about AXZ? Well, it starts with Hibiki being a derp at school. Psych! Oh, nobody says that anymore, do they? Shit. Anyway, the girls have a mission. The noise is officially a weaponized thing now, and a military junta in South America has some. I assume this is thanks to alchemy somehow? Tsubasa slides in on her motorcycle, slashing noise and military turrets like butter. Yeah, that blue smear there? That's Tsubasa. Suddenly, we cut to a fucking kite with Hibiki, Chris, and Ogawa. Which, I forgot Ogawa existed until this scene, and I actually got his name wrong once in my notes, even after having literally just read it on the subtitles. And then, speaking of subtitles, this amazingness happens. I can't personally read the kanji for ninja, especially like 90% cut off like this, but oh, let it be true. Ogawa holds his own in a fight against all the soldiers, so I guess he has superpowers. I feel like I'd remember that, but I don't. Meanwhile, the girls are fighting the soldiers and the noise at the same time, and they're in a rush to try and destroy the base's anti-aircraft missiles so the UN can come in. I didn't realize that Symphogear were effective against bullets, but not only are the girls just blocking bullets like no big deal, but Hibiki's sitting around punching tank shells. Sure. And despite throwing tank shells around and literally tearing tanks apart, the girls, of course, manage not to kill any of the humans. Of course, never fret. The junta leader summons an aircraft carrier out of thin air. Like, literally, like, an alchemy symbol appears and then there's an aircraft carrier. Because, you know, that's how alchemy works. Forget all that Full Metal Alchemist, like, you take something to make something stuff. Nah. And this sudden aircraft carrier puts the UN helicopters that just arrived at risk, because now they can bombard the helicopters from the air. Also, inside the UN helicopters, we have Shirabe, Kurika, and Maria, who are the ex-terrorist new magical girls from Season 2. I forgot that the show had convinced the world that Maria being a terrorist was a secret plan, and that she was working for the UN the whole time, so now the girls are working for the UN. Until I see them in UN uniforms, and then I'm like, oh, yeah, that's weird. It's also around this point in the episode where I realized the version I'm watching didn't subtitle their songs, which is really sad. I'm gonna have to, like, I don't know, try and figure out the songs or find another version or something. In what is in fact the third laugh out loud moment for me, the military junta leader kindly summarizes the entire series for me. Can't argue with that. He launches an absolutely epic missile volley at the helicopters. Hibiki and Tsubasa leave Chris to deal with it, because machine guns. And they start leapfrogging across the missiles to get to the aircraft carrier. Tsubasa does this thing she does sometimes where she makes her sword grow to giant proportions, and she pretty much cleaves the aircraft carrier in half. Hibiki jumps in to save the leader because obviously that guy was the only human being on the aircraft carrier, so now it can explode and it's cool and no one is injured. Yeah, I believe that show. Also, seriously, Cloud thinks he has a big sword. And then this happens. And the best part is, this isn't the only crazy anime poorly thought out helicopter stunt I can remember. So, who did it better? Symphogear AXZ or FF7 Advent Children Complete Edition? You decide. Comments below. After all the fighting, this is seriously like the first third of the entire episode is just this battle. Chris sees the UN helping the local people, And the sight of an upset little girl worried about her injured dad brings up all kinds of bad memories from her past, because she actually grew up in, like, a refugee camp. And they bring it up a couple times in this episode, so I hope they're actually going somewhere with this, and maybe Chris is going to process things this season. We'll see. And again, that battle was, like, the entire first third of the episode. We have had no explanation of who the Junta guys are. I'm not sure we know what country we're in. I don't think it matters to the show. We don't know how they got the noise. And their stuff appears to be alchemically based, which last season only Carol could do alchemy stuff. We also don't really know how the girls found out about these guys and that they had noise. Because we saw them summon noise to protect their base, but the show didn't show us a scene of, like, them attacking the local population with noise or anything. So we have no idea how they found out they had this weaponry. But the girls are talking to, like, their boss and the other people in their, like, group of, I don't know, I don't even remember what their group's supposed to be anymore. And then Hibiki says this. And I mean, literally out of nowhere, she says this. And I'm sitting here like, fucking what? Illuminati? Okay then. We finally flash back to their briefing where they found out about the Junta guy. And they keep referring to a magical girl incident. And it's so vague, I actually can't decide if they're trying to reference a previous season or if it's supposed to be a mystery incident that happened in between GX and AXZ that we're going to learn about during the season. In what has to be considered a non-twist, they reveal that the Illuminati has been behind all of the show's previous events, which, as soon as you bring the Illuminati in, you just have to assume they've been involved in everything that's happened previously. But here's the question. They helped Carol? This is serious bullshit. Why would anyone help Carol? Her only goal was to destroy everything. She wasn't, like, trying to conquer the world. She was trying to kill everyone and blow everything up. Also, why would Carol trust anybody or anything when her entire plot was that she hated everything about the world and every living being? She does not trust people. The only people we ever saw her work with in GX were literal puppets that she made and controlled herself. Also not explained is why the Illuminati is giving crazy alchemical powers to random military juntas in South America. But, I mean, that sounds a bit more like a thing the Illuminati would do. Okay. So plot and sense-making are not the show's forte. The punching tank shells and explosions, that's more up our alley. And also, obligatory shower scenes. I shouldn't have taken 2 screenshots from this scene, but I just love Shirabe. Also, during the shower scene, we do get a little bit of plot, where Kirika and Shirabe reveal that the ex-terrorist girls didn't transform and help fight in the last battle because they're running out of Linker. Linker was the drug that Dr. Vare made to help them attune to their Symphogear, whereas our main trio can do it without any drugs. They're just properly attuned. And I'm absolutely certain that these characters losing the ability to become Symphogears won't be a main plot later in the season, so, just forget I mentioned it. Okay, a bit of a warning. From this point on in the episode, I got really lost, and I'm not entirely sure where anybody is or why. So the girls go to fight another one of these military guys who has noise at a chemical plant. Again, I have no idea how they found out he had them, how they found out where he was, or anything like that. But apparently that's all a distraction, which we find out from some guy who is being called the president. I assumed military junta guys would be trying to overthrow the government, so why they're working together, I don't know. What is even? And then some people who must be our new baddies for this season show up where the president is. They tell us that they also knew it was a distraction, and that's why they came here. I don't even know where here is. And I'm also not entirely sure who's distracting who from what. Also, their names are... These are just absolutely fantastic when pronounced, like, in katakana. Oh my god. I also don't know which girl is which yet, so... I assume these girls are Illuminati alchemists. They sing a song, and I was expecting Symphogear to appear, which seemed kind of premature in the season, but instead it appears to steal the souls of the military guys? Also, remember how the chemical plant is a distraction, and I don't know how our main characters knew about that, and well, apparently, they also knew about the people being here because the non-magical girl members of their agency are there spying on all this. And they're spying really badly because they get totally caught by everything. And the Illuminati girls summon this giant monster to attack them. It also appears that the Illuminati are after what looks like a girl in a crystal, and I swear the crystal girl has Hibiki's hair. Foreshadowing? So because our Symphogear girls are over at the chemical plant, they can't help save the agency people, so the ex-terrorists give in and use the last of their linker to use their Symphogear to save them. I really thought the show was gonna, like, hold on to that, like it's the last of our linker plot a little longer, but nope, first episode, no more Symphogears for the girls, I presume. Care to place wagers on how long until Maria, Shirabe, and Kirika get a new way to summon their Symphogears without linker? Episode 4, 5... Unfortunately, that's the end of the episode. We don't even get to see the ex-terrorists fight. But it's really not the worst cliffhanger as far as Symphogear goes. It barely counts as a cliffhanger, because, I mean, we know the agency people aren't going to die. We know it's not going to be the final battle between the Illuminati girls and these girls, so whatever. The only interesting fact about this fight is that they used up the last of their linker. So we already know that. But then they drop the episode title, and I'm like, Hellscreen? The president did briefly mention there being a barrier around the place where he was, but we never saw a barrier, and it didn't seem to stop anyone from going there. And I'm only about half sure that guy's name is even Valverde. At one point in the episode, Chris saw a picture of a guy and screamed out the name Valverde like it meant something to her, but I can't even remember if this is the same guy. Final thoughts? As usual, this made relatively little sense, but it was an awful lot of fun. I laughed out loud multiple times. I had to, like, stop the video because I was laughing so hard a couple times. I'm not sure they were things I was supposed to be laughing at entirely, but I don't think the show's that unaware. I think it has a little bit of an idea of the fact that it's crazy and it's just going with it. If you're a big stickler for, like, physics, probably not a recommend here. That said, I'm really excited that I got to sit around talking about the Illuminati in this episode, because, like, I thought them bringing alchemy into the universe was crazy last season, but now we've got alchemy and the Illuminati, so that's looking up at least. Didn't get a lot to go on as to what the Illuminati girls are up to, but it was a fun, crazy start to the season, and at least set up what they're doing with the new trio of girls. Will we discover what the Illuminati are up to next episode? See you then. Bye-bye. If you enjoyed this, please leave a like. If you want to make sure you don't miss the next episode, you can subscribe, or you can follow me twitter.com/Orestria. Also, you should totally go bug Demonac, because he's supposed to put stuff on this channel too. Shh, I didn't tell you to do that.